I am John, the Liquidator, and this is the Liquidator Report. I hope everybody is having a great day today. Look like more information is coming out of Venezuela as to President Trump sending B-52 bombers to pretty much make sure everything is on the up and up for dictator Nicolás Maduro. If you guys don't know, yesterday was the countdown for Nicolás Maduro to take some type of responsibility in this drug cartel situation. I'm here to tell you, him nor the Venezuela government has pretty much backed down from anything that has happened. Y'all know right here on the channel, man, we're going to jump right into this thing. If you guys have not done so, hype the video, like the video, share the content. So this is the current state of the area pretty much in Venezuela waters right now. And I'm here to tell you, President Trump ain't playing no games. I spoke about this yesterday. We're speaking about it again today. It's definitely how President Trump is taking the initiative to make sure that, no illegal substance, no drugs is coming across our borders. Instead, 30% of the U.S. Navy deployed warships are currently in the Caribbean. Something tells me this is not only about Venezuela. Now, this is their thoughts there, but I'm telling you right now, this is an epic show of force. I believe that is exactly what President Trump is doing right now, showing an extensive major show of force. But let's watch major show of force, bro. Look at this. Major. He's not just sending 30% of our Navy ships out there to play patty cake here, people. President Trump is standing on business, and he's letting it be known we're going to come in your territory and we're going to dominate. You want to play these games? Well, you know what? We got time today, and that's exactly what President Trump did yesterday. Let's check out some of these comments before we move on to the next topic. So it looked like main footage is from a U.S. Navy exercise held in the Caribbean. So it looked like this whole thing is about blocking China trade with the Latino. I don't think it is. See, everybody want to push China, which we haven't really dove into China yet on the channel. That's something that we're going to be talking about in the foreseeable future. Moving on to another topic, it looked like Speaker of the House, Caroline Leavitt, spoke to spoke to the reporters yesterday about this Venezuela situation. Stated breaking news: White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt on Maduro, he is a legitimate threat, bro. It just ain't no shaking.
Are we entering a new phase in Venezuela, and what does that entail?
Well, as the president is so good at, I'll try to be just as good. I'm not going to broadcast any actions that may or may not be happening with respect to Venezuela. I know I've been very clear about the administration's position, as has the president and his national security team. We view the Maduro regime as being illegitimate, and the president has been very satisfied with the successful strikes against narco-terrorists and foreign terrorists that are illegally trafficking drugs towards the United States of America. He's not going to tolerate that, and you can expect to see those strikes continue.
Told you. President Trump ain't playing, bro. President Trump ain't playing. So this article right here came out early this morning. Let's pull it up right now. Head on over to Google. Get this thing up and rolling here. Stated Trump may defeat Maduro without a battle ever lost. Says as President Donald Trump ramps up diplomatic efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war, a steady stream of reports indicate that the White House may be planning its own form of special military operation as Moscow refers to the conflict to quickly topple Venezuela President Nicolás Maduro. And while analysts believe that Maduro's position undermines by accusations of election rigging and complicity in transnational drug trafficking, may prove less resilient in the face of foreign hostiles, that the Ukraine president, observers almost suggest that even his swift outsiding may be followed by a prolonged period of urgency, other measures waged by loyalists and armed allies. Such a campaign could serve as a potentially even greater test to Washington and the Venezuela security force have been training since President Hugo Chavez's years. I don't know what any of this stuff means, but conventionally attacked by the U.S. for more than a few days. Now, video we seen, this is a picture of some B-52 bombers all in the vicinity of the Caribbean airspace of Venezuela. Now, this was Fox yesterday speaking about the whole Venezuela situation. Let's give it a listen.
I mean, I would love to see a change in government. My wife's from Nicaragua. We know how terribly the dictators there rely on Venezuelan oil. But at the same time, a lot of Americans don't want actual U.S. participation in regime change in Venezuela. They would much prefer the Venezuelans to do it on their own. Do you think the pressure that Maduro has received will force him to leave on his own?
Oh, I think Maduro is not Fidel Castro. Maduro is not a brave boy. So now that he has understood that he's on that very nefarious list of the terrorist organization, that the airspace above Venezuela has been closed off and the commercial airlines from the United States are not flying, he's understanding that we're about to go in. He understands that he has been our enemy for the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. Venezuela, for those Americans who do not understand why we need to go in, basically for three reasons. You're in Fox Business. Venezuela, for the American oil companies, will be a field day because it will be more than $1 trillion in economic activity. American companies can go in and fix all the oil pipe, the whole oil rigs, and everything that has to do with the Venezuelan petroleum companies, or everything that has to do with oil and the derivatives.
Fox clip as well that I want to show you guys, and that's this one.
I want to ask you, because of your position on Homeland Security, you may have some insight into the drug cartels. You are also on Senate Foreign Relations, and it is tomorrow that the Trump administration officially will designate the Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. That's the cartel the Trump administration says is linked to Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro. Secretary Hegseth says it gives the administration new tools. Nothing's on or off the table, he says, militarily. Legally, what changes tomorrow? What becomes possible?
I think by doing this, they're pretending as if we are at war. They're pretending as if they've gotten some imprimatur to do what they want. When you have war, the rules of engagement are lessened. So, for example, we normally don't shoot boats that we suspect of being drug dealers. In fact, if the Coast Guard tomorrow started shooting all vessels that are off of Miami or off of San Diego, about 1 in 4 of the vessels that they normally board doesn't have drugs. So it actually would be unlawful if the Coast Guard started blowing up boats. But for some reason, they say, oh, we're at war off the coast of Venezuela. And so it's a different rule of engagement. It's one of war. But, you know, Senator Kaine and I brought this up. And we said, if it's war, let's declare it as war. Let's have this discussion. Is it war or not? And the administration refused that. They want to have it both ways. They want to say, oh, we can just say these people are terrorists or narco-terrorists, so we can blow them up. But it's extraordinary that when some of them survive, they pluck them out of the water. They don't prosecute them for drugs. They don't collect drugs. They don't tell us if they were armed or not. They just send them back to their country, most of the time not being Venezuela. They've sent one back to Colombia and one back to Ecuador, but nobody's making any pretense of even interviewing them to find out who's selling you the drugs. Maybe we could find out who the kingpins are if they're involved in the drug trade. Not a word. And I've been given zero, not one briefing, because I'm skeptical of what they're doing. They don't brief me or the General Senate at all. A few hand-selected people may have gotten a briefing, but I have not been invited to any briefings on Venezuela.
So that was CBS reporters talking about this Venezuela situation. Man, I want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section right now. Keep them bells on. I am John the Liquidator. This has been another episode of the Liquidator Report. And like always, man, peace out.